show. I'm Goldberg.
And I'm Gavin. Achtemeier.
And do you love trash? Our culminating project is to apply for the Illinois Zero Waste Schools grant. This is a grant that gives schools money to buy clean technologies to help achieve zero waste. In order for us to apply for that, we had to know how much garbage, recycling, and compost Prairie Crossing Charter School produces. Do this by collecting the garbage, pouring it out on a chart, sorting it by hand, and then weighing it on a scale. We did this for a total of 3 weeks. 1 week for recycling, 1 week for trash, and 1 week for 7th grade recycling. Compost data was collected by Mr. Xavier's 6th grade class. After we gave them a short lesson on composting, in the garbage and recycling, we had to know how much of a certain item there was. For example, not only did we collect data on how much paper was in the recycling bins, but how much was in the trash. We found data that was less than acceptable. With this experience, Gavin and I can say with confidence that our school loves trash.
We must improve for our project, school, and the world. We had many steps to finishing this project. We had to start by creating a sorting method with charts we made, intuition, and mainly trial and error throughout our project. The grant gave us very few good guidelines that we had to follow, so we had to reverse engineer how we were going to do this project. Then we had to follow through with sorting. Imagine 2 8th graders sorting recycling and trash for 2 schools, 4 hours a day. From that, we made tables, charts, and graphs to interpret the data you'll see very soon. We presented these findings to multiple groups, mainly a conference on how schools do recycling, which included people from students in high school and the CLC Sustainability Center organizer, Derek. Finally, we taught Mr. Smear's class about composting and nitrogen recycling. Using an interactive lesson plan we created, we had them relate the project to a problem-based learning project, PBL, which was to audit the school's compost and notify the community about their findings, along with raising compost awareness. We guided them through every step of the way and let them figure out what to do in this sense of the PBL.
Along with our many steps to success, we had many roadblocks, such as sorting methods and locations, meeting times, differences of opinion, and most importantly, the grant that we were applying for was never released. We also ran out of time to actually implement a solution without grant money. Regardless, something still needs to be done.
Before we show you the graphs, we'd like to show the waste hierarchy. The waste hierarchy, the top would be the most preferable way of disposing of waste. This is just a general representation. You can see at the top is waste reduction, which you can consider not using something, or in the case of a plastic bottle, that's thinning out the plastic that you actually have to use. Next is reusing it. That's refilling that plastic bottle. Compost and recycling would be under that, and composting would generally be considered better because it goes back to the earth. It does not use any fuels or man labor in comparison to a one-way recycling site. Towards the bottom is reducing your waste, which is compacting it before you put it in the ground. The last is landfilling or incineration, which is one of the last possible ways we want to get rid of our trash. Below this, which we do not have on there because it's so bad, would be considered dump or littering, because this has immediate effects along with long-term effects that landfill could create.
This is our first graph. As you can see, this is the graph for trash. There are two major things that stand out. They are major because they should not be in the trash, because it could be placed somewhere else, because we should not be using disposable products. 1. Compost. 21.3% of our trash is compost. This number should be 0. Second, paper towels/napkins. This made up more than 1/3 of our trash. This is what I believe needs the most improvement. As you can see, there are other things that are not acceptable as well. Batteries should not be in the trash, and they are hazardous, and styrofoam is a disposable product as well. We're supposed to be an all-green school, but not if we have trash like this.
This is the total recycling composition graph that you see here. I want to focus right now on white paper just because a school, it makes sense to recycle white paper. Fiber paper is not recyclable, but we found this was the highest amount of something that was not recyclable in the recycling that would have to be sorted out at one recycling center. At 8.6%, fiber paper is your magazine, anything with a waxy gloss coating. Mixed paper is your cardstock, your construction paper. That was at 16%. This is a lot harder for the recycling facility to sort through because it's usually cut up and they have to sort it very specially. Sometimes some recycling centers do not recycle it for that reason. Cardboard, the recycling center does not have enough demand, so they end up throwing it away after they sort it and put it through that process, which is worse than just putting landfill in. And finally, I just want to note that the steel or tin numbers here, those were swayed by a paper cutter, which was on one day, and it's not normally recycled at our school. Now, lastly, I want to touch back at plastics number 6, which was the styrofoam I was talking about. Even though there's very little recycling, you'll see in the next graph that there's quite a bit more in the whole school. This is mainly styrofoam, meaning it came almost only from parents, teachers, and people in the school other than students, including me.
This is our school's overall waste graph. As you can see, the three biggest pieces are, again, paper towels/napkins, white paper, and compost. The two biggest things that I believe, again, that need improvement are paper towels/napkins and compost. These should be both as close as we can to 0.
Here you see the total paper uses of our school, 1 versus 2-sided paper. This, most people would not think matters, but it's important part of the waste reduction and reuse section of our waste hierarchy. And mainly the grant required, so we just want to educate you. We found just over 1,000 pounds a year of one-sided paper in the recycling and trash, and just around 128 pounds a year school year, just like that. And also only in recycling.
We had 13.23 pounds of fruits and vegetables in the trash, and none in the recycling. We could get rid of this by using education and telling students where it actually goes, and making sure that each classroom has an adequate compost bin.
Here is only the pizza that we found in the trash. We found a total of 10 pounds of pizza on one Friday. That's only from the Pizza Friday communal lunch program, which is one of the only 2 communal lunch programs at the school. This amounts to 412 pounds of pizza estimated per year. All of it was found in trash compared to some which should have been eaten, taken home. We want to show you some solutions to this data, which would most likely be, instead of asking the children to bring plates, they should bring reusable containers and bring this pizza home. Otherwise, we're hoping to set up a school-run composting system, which means that we can compost what we want, because the compost system that we use now it's hazardous with the animals to compost these things. In this graph, meat and dairy represent meat. And finally, Prairie Crossing Charter School makes 14,855 estimated pounds of trash per year. That's over 7.5 tons, or about 3 3/4 of an average car of 2009. We understand that we have to throw things away, but we really could and need to do better.
One of our first solutions is education. We have already educated the board and administration. We now need to educate teachers, students, and parents about our trash situation. Secondly, we need bins and signage so there is no excuse on how to dispose of our trash. A reward system could also be implemented by teachers and students. Vermicompost would also be a great addition to the classroom environment. This would be a great educational tool. Also, lastly, a green club or environmental club could be started just like at Lakeshore High School. They would be the ones in charge of keeping tabs on our trash. Also, in our findings, we found that our school actually has no green policies. This is unacceptable. We are a green school. We don't have any implemented green policies.
From what we found at Prairie Crossing Charter School, students, teachers, staff, and you all love trash. We are better than this. We need to improve. We are a small school, but we can take big steps to fix this issue and set an example for our community. We have 60 service hours put into this project, trying to help you become trash-free. Now that we're ending our time at PCCS, this is going to become your responsibility. So let's work together to fix it while we can. We'd also like to give special thanks to
the advisory people that helped us,
Nigel Whittington,
Dara Reeve,
Lisa Benoit,
Sarah Kirch,
Tony Smith,
and our teachers and parents.
For helping us sort,
Riley Achtemeier,
Molly Whittington,
Gianna Rizzo,
Maddie Nelson,
Emily Helly,
and Emma Mitchell.
and Jessica Mitchell.